Okay, so we have a couple of box plots here. Here they are. And let's just remind ourselves what box plots show. Well, they show 5 things, basically. They show the minimum, they show the lower quartile, they show the median, they show the upper quartile, and they show the maximum. In this case, all of those are wages, of course, and I could put that on the second one as well, but I won't. Now, we're asked to compare the distributions of wages, and usually when we're asked to compare things, we should compare both an average, in this case a median, and we should also compare a measure of spread, so either the interquartile range, IQR, or range, okay, which is the maximum minus the minimum. So let's just get ourselves some figures, shall we? Okay, so let's do these 5 figures for the 2 distributions, the minimum, the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the maximum. And let's do that for the under 16s. It's not the under 16s, sorry, they are 16-year-olds and 18-year-olds. Okay, and let's just put those in. So the minimum value for the 16-year-olds, now we just need to be a bit careful with our scale here. That 50 there is 10 little squares, and so 1 little square is in fact 5, is it not? Right, yes, so 1 little square is 5, and so we've got 50, and let's just 60, 70, 80, 90, so 2 little squares is 10. There we go. So the minimum for the 16-year-olds is 80. The lower quartile, if you look at it carefully, is 130. That's there, that's 130. The median is here, which is going to be 160, 70, 80. The upper quartile is 210, and the maximum is 310 there. So that's 210 and 310. I'm just marking those on the graph. And then for the 18-year-olds, well, the 130 is the minimum. That's already marked. The lower quartile is 210. That's already marked. There's 240 for the median. And then the upper quartile for the 18-year-olds is 280. Okay, and the maximum is 380. You can check those on the scale yourselves. So let's now compare what we need to compare. So we can say, let's compare the medians. So we've got the figures, but we can say the median wage is much bigger, really quite a lot bigger actually, much bigger for 18-year-olds. Okay, and we can say, if you like, 240 is obviously quite a lot bigger than 180. So that's one of our comparisons, and then let's do another comparison. Well, are we going to do the range or are we going to do the interquartile range? I'm going to do the range, I've decided. Okay, so the range here for 16-year-olds is 310 minus 80, which is 230, is it not? 31 minus 8 is 23, so 310 minus 80 is 230. And for the 18-year-olds, it's 380 minus 130, which is 250. So they're actually quite similar, aren't they? So we could say the range of wages is similar for both ages. Okay, similar for both ages. Now you'll notice that not only have I done figures, let's just write that in, 230 is approximately the same as 250, not much different anyway. You'll notice not only have I done figures, but I've also done it in context. I've talked about wages and ages. Okay, so in context and with figures, and that's how you should do it. Right, what about part B? Well, here it is. Now you'll notice I've put a second copy of the diagram down here so that I don't have to flick back up the page. What does it say? It says there are 200 workers who are 16 years old. So we're going to be looking at this. Work out an estimate for the number of workers whose wages are 130 or more. So let's go back to our scale. There's 110, there's 120, and there is 130. Okay, so that is £130. And you can see that actually that is the lower quartile. And so above here, this bit here is 75% of the people, of the 16-year-olds, have a wage of 130 or more. So from the graph, or from the box plot, the lower quartile is 130. So 75% of 16-year-olds have a wage of £130 or more. Okay, and we can then say 75% of 200. Now I hope you can do that without too much of a calculator, too much calculation, since we don't have a calculator, but we could do it as 75 over 100 times 200, get the green cancelling pen out, basically the hundreds cancel, the 200 over 100 is 2, and so that is 75 times 2, which is 150. So my estimate for the number of workers whose wages are 130 or more is 150. And we're done.